Hello, hello. Welcome to 5D Transformations. We're here, and we wanted to touch on an interesting subject in regard to narcissistic relationships, entanglements. And the big thing is that narcissists have no shame. Now, this is almost comical, even though it's completely not comical at the same time. But narcissists, really have no shame. And the first thing I want to ask is like, for the people out there, you can leave it in the comments. Has a narcissist ever genuinely apologized to you, like heartfelt apologized? And I just ask that because you'll notice that with narcissists, one of the really telltale signs that you're dealing with a narcissist is going to be in the difficulty that they have to admit they're wrong and to apologize, to truly apologize. Now, we all have our moments where we don't really want to apologize, like as human beings. We all do have an ego to some degree. Um, we all want to feel as though we're thinking correct. We have natural prerogative to want to be consistent and logically consistent with what we think. But there's times that happen in life where you realize, like, I messed up, or I was wrong, or you giving me enough data, right? Or my environment has given me enough data to where I can say, all right, I messed up a little bit, or I can do better at that. Now, one thing you'll notice with narcissists, whether you're in a relationship with one, whether it's one that you deal with at work, whether it's one in your family, whether it's a friend, you'll notice that when it comes to them having to take responsibility for being wrong, they have the hardest time doing that. They do not want to do that. They don't want to do it so bad that what I've seen with a lot of narcissistic relationships that I've seen, that I've helped coach people through, the narcissist sometimes will get emotional to the point of crying. Like, you'll see them at their most emotional point when they have to apologize. Like, they could have done so much destruction. The family could have been chaos, arguing, fighting, yelling, just complete torture, right? And that whole time they really were indifferent. They did not care. But as soon as they had to apologize, you start seeing tears and a cracked voice. It's like it crushes their soul to have to be like, I'm sorry. To have to be like, okay, I'm wrong. And generally, when they have to say they're wrong, it comes with the, well, if I have to say it and you go, it's like completely comes from the group pressure or because they have no other choice. That's the only time you'll see them apologize. It's not going to come from them having some realization like, I really messed up, or them just saying, I take responsibility. It's, I'm going to do this because I have to, and it hurts me so bad. So that just shows you the depth of the lack of shame that they have. They very rarely question if what they're doing is good or bad, regardless of if it's bad. They rarely care about what people's perspectives are. They will argue you till the sun goes down, till it comes back up and comes back down again. Before they'll argue with you about their position forever before they admit that they were wrong. Okay, so them apologizing is literally the last resort, and it's eats them up so bad having to do that. And I want you guys to see who are the people that you notice in your life, or because even, and that's one thing, we have to take responsibility beyond just ourselves, because there are people who are very narcissistic to other people that you might see in your environment, or they might carry tendencies that are very entitled, and you just kind of let it go because you're like, well, they normally are just arguing with this person, but when you're watching, like, that person knows they were wrong right there, but why can't they admit it? But it's like, whatever. You can't keep doing that, because you have to realize, like, you can't associate and be around people that have a really hard time admitting they're wrong. That's just not acceptable, because these things leak into other issues that are become much bigger later on. It's gonna bite you in the butt if you allow this to continue. So, what are your views, in this?
Yeah, I definitely agree that when dealing with people who are narcissists, who have narcissistic tendencies. And the thing is, like, I think you said this before. I don't know if it was this video or another video, but that people in general have a hard time admitting that they're wrong. So, like, just because you even may have a hard time admitting that you're wrong sometimes, but it doesn't mean you're a narcissist,
Yeah.
but you're aware of that. And I think what they have is like a lack of awareness of that. They have a hard time admitting that they're wrong. But one thing I would say when dealing with the narcissist is, like, for your own good and, like, for your own self, like, don't expect them to say sorry or to apologize for you to be able to move on. Like, that's something that you have to come to on your own to be able to forgive them and just, like, let things go and, like, you continue to move forward. But I would say never look to a narcissist to apologize, because they're not going to, unless, like you said, they feel pressured, not by you, it's usually by other people, because they want to uphold a certain image to those other people. So if other people start being like, well, you need to apologize, blah, 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 and they're going to be like, okay, well, like you said, like, if you guys want me to apologize, like, I will, and it is very tough for them. And then you do see a lot of insecurity and their smaller self that they've been trying to protect come out when they have to apologize.
Absolutely. No, that's a very, very great point. And, to take it back to shame, it's bigger than just like, just the apology side. Sometimes you get in really bad situations with a narcissist, or you might remember times you were in a really bad situation, or where they did something really wrong to you, or something that you felt was so wrong, like you were wronged. And they don't care. Like, even if you bring it up, like, what you did back then, like, really traumatized me as a child. And they'll look at it like, traumatized you as a child? Like, what do you mean? Like, that? Oh my gosh, grow up. Like, they will demean those moments.
They will either demean it or act like it never happened.
They will move past all these moments that were, like, so traumatic, to the point where it's like, you feel kind of crappy, because it's like, I'm over here, let's say you're a person who had a lot of trauma, cried, went through this deep issues. You might have had to dealt with a therapist. You know what I mean? It might have been that birthday where they, that they forgot, or something where you felt extremely hurt, or something really cruel and mean that was said. You'll notice generally they never apologize or try to bring that situation to the forefront, or just address it. They'll just keep moving forward like it never happened. So, I definitely just want to say, like, that is something that is unacceptable. And, if that's something that can't be rewarded. So once again, this goes back to the boundaries. There's a reason why you don't want to be around this person. There's a reason why you need that distance, because they don't deserve, to be in your life when they haven't even rectified the situations in which they hurt you. And let's not talk about the flip. They have no shame, but they put so much shame on you. So I want you guys to really think about that and understand, like, you'll be feeling so bad about things that you've done that they want to highlight on. They want so much sympathy. So much, how did you wrong me? I can't believe. Yeah. But then when it comes back on them, they have no time for it. Yeah. So you're looking at a very imbalanced person, a very entitled person, and a person that really lacks an ability to look at the things that they've done in the past, right? Which causes them to have a web of history of so many negative, dark things that they've done, that they essentially just run from or keep walking past. And it creates this cloud of things that they're doing that's following them. It catches up to them, So if you continue to validate that behavior, you're just adding on to the entitlement in the world, for all the people who have been wronged, for all the people who they've stepped over to get to where they get. You're just perpetuating that, and you don't want to be one of the people perpetuating that behavior. So, don't let them try to shame you. Don't let them try to play reverse psychology. And I like this. This is a tool that you can use, that I've used, that I've told a lot of people to use, which is, look, if you can't apologize, if you can't really, really say what you've done wrong, then I'm just not going to talk to you. I'm just not going to be around you. I want nothing to do with you. If you don't ever want to apologize, that's fine. You just will never be in contact with me. It's kind of a win-win situation, because do you really want to be in contact with somebody like that? That's what I challenge you to think about. That is a little form of punishment that you can give them. That's really just you being authentic, which is like, I'm not going to validate that behavior, and I don't have to validate that behavior. So, you know, you want to be around people that are emotionally mature, because if they don't have the strength to apologize, or to know they were wrong in situations, that's a very dangerous person. And what happens in the future, it what if they can't take responsibility about things now, what happens when things down the road, things that might be more serious? Where's the loyalty? Where's the trust? How can you trust somebody or confide in somebody that has no shame? So when they wrong you, or if they tell on you, or if they share your secrets with the world, or if they do any of those type of things, they feel no shame about it. So that's a liability. If you're around any person that has no shame, that doesn't apologize if they know they've done something wrong, that's a liability in your environment. That's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you need to distance yourself, for your own safety and protection, because that person has a weak moral compass. They have a low level of integrity, which means it's going to compromise your unit and where you're going, because you're connected with that energy. You want to keep your